Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is all about taking a breath, not just consciously when you're still, but mindfully when you're moving on the mat as well. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice in a 4-point kneeling position on the mat. You can either keep the tops of your feet relaxed into the mat, or you can work a subtle stretch into the under chain by tucking toes softly under. You're going to find a long tabletop stretch, pausing and then starting to breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling, constricting the larynx slightly, and starting to look for a little ujjayi breath pattern, making a soft ocean-like wave sound on both the inhale and the exhale. Once you've found the breath pattern, keep it going and sit back gently, bum to heel, bringing your elbow points to the mat, bringing the hands together in a wide prayer behind your head, and keep that breath pattern going. Try to keep the breath pattern, the full breath pattern, or an echo of that breath pattern going as you find your way into 4-point kneeling and begin to cat-cow, playing with an alternate hollow and a rounded back. Stay here, keeping the frame of your arms and your legs still, or begin to work an undulating motion, rocking the weight forward into your wrists on the cat and pressing back on the cow. So you're almost working a churning-like movement through your belly center. Come to stillness. Begin to extend the left leg, keeping the toe tuck under position on the right, and then stretch the right arm out. We're keeping a nice active brace into that floating back leg. Hold. Then keep the leg floating, but ground the right hand, and then step the left leg out into a little lizard line, and lean forward into the wrists, staying here or beginning to play with that back knee, bringing it off the mat and grounding it, playing with it dynamically a few times. Maybe you can end in a lifted position. Maybe you can rotate towards your lead leg and float your left arm up towards the sky. Back knee is off the mat, or you can ground it if you need to. Then find your way from here back into child pose, keeping the toes tucked under if you can, and find that breathing ujjayi breath as you drop your elbow points to the mat, keeping the hands together behind your head in a wide prayer. Maybe your thumb tips are lightly grazing that little tension spot at the nape of your neck. Try to keep that Ujjayi breath pattern going as you find your way to 4-point kneeling, keeping the toes tucked under as you cat-cow. Keep your cat-cow going, or begin to play with a little churning, lean forwards and backwards. Find your rhythm, work with your breath. Come to stillness, center aligned. Take your right leg out, left arm out, hold it. Keep a nice active brace into that back foot. Keep the leg floating and ground both hands. Let's do a step up on the right. Lean forward into the wrists. Stay here or begin to play with that back knee, bringing it off the mat and then tapping it back, maybe 5 times. Keeping belly to spine throughout. And in the lift, hold it. Maybe you can rotate towards your lead leg and sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Then think of the frame of your legs and how you can use it to come into a deep squat line. Anchoring both hands, stepping up on the left to either take a mid or a deep seat and then start to play. 1 squat, 1 straddle, fold. So for the squat, your feet are softly splayed out. For the straddle, you're squaring up and the toes are looking to the front of the mat. We're going to see if we can end in the deep squat, Malasana, and bring your hands to a floating prayer. Then keep that wide, splayed out foot line and see if you can bleed up into a horse stand, stopping before the body is totally straight and then giving me a small pelvic tilt. Hold it. Feel that burn in the top of your thighs. Then straighten up the legs, heel toe them in. Pull those stacking directly underneath your feet. Drop your hands to the tops of your thighs. Big breath in. On an exhale, fold forward to either stop in a tabletop fold or to run your hands down the chain of the legs, maybe coming into a big toe hold, where you're taking your middle index finger and thumb, grabbing for the big toe, pulling both big toes up, and then pressing down through all 8 other toes. Hold. And remembering to look for opportunities while you're playing to apply that Ujjayi breath. Start to soften your knees and start to roll up. Big breath in, we're going to take a warrior 2 step back on the left and we're going to open up our arms into that warrior 2 frame. Trying to open up that back foot tonight, we're going to begin to play with the forearms. We're going to rotate palms up, palms down. Keeping that wide lunging line through the legs. We're going to end palms up, big breath in. On an exhale, drop your back arm to your back leg and then reach for the sky with your top arm. Pause here. Find the front of your rib cage on the right and breathe into it. Then bend your lead elbow to your lead leg. Hold the weight of your body in your core and start to trace a big forward tracing circle on the back arm. We're going to hold, reaching. And then back to your warrior two. And start to play with that rotation through the forearms. Keeping your gaze steady and over the front. We're going to end palms up, big breath in, find your reverse warrior. Breathe into the right side of your ribs. Then relax, lead elbow to lead thigh, and give me 5 big sweeping circles on the back arm. Back arm to ear, hold the stretch. One more time, we're going to repeat that warrior two play. Finding your warrior two, and then starting to play with the forearms. One rotation up, one down. Legs are going to start to burn and maybe even quiver just a little bit. We're going to end palms up, find our reverse warrior and breathe into the right side of our ribs. Then lead elbow to lead thigh and big sweeping circle on the back arm. We're going to end arm to ear, hold it. Then begin to pivot on the back foot, fingers to floor, relax down into a low lunge. You could keep toes tucked under, or you could relax foot to floor, whichever works for you. I'm going to shoot for a toe tuck under. You can either stay your hands on the floor, or you can bring hands to lead thigh, or you can think beautiful crescent frame through the back, and you can float the arms overhead, coming into a full crescent lunge, Anyanye Asana. Look for that Ujjayi breath whenever you can. Then float your hands to the floor. Take your right leg, kick it up into a three-legged dog, and then begin to play. One three-legged dog, one plank, but crossing right foot over left. And you're going to start to play. One three-legged dog, one cross ankle plank. We're going to end in the three-legged dog. Hold it. Then think knee up plank on the right and hold it. We're going to use this knee up plank to fashion ourselves a pigeon, relaxing the lead leg and the back leg to the floor in a position that's comfortable for you. Take a moment to just wiggle through and find a comfortable position. And keeping a high pigeon line today. Maybe looking for an opportunity here to find that Ujjayi breath again. You could even drop down onto the forearms, bringing your hands together in prayer and crossing your thumbs and thinking index fingers, pressing gently into your third eye as you consciously look for that Ujjayi breath pattern. Then ease your way from here into easy sit, maybe finding your way back onto the palms, sitting onto your right bum, swinging the back leg in front, and then taking a moment to just cross the legs in a position that's comfortable for you. Taking a moment to maybe just roll through the bottom and settle the weight of your body into the mat. Big breath in, we're going to twist left, opposite hand to knee, pressing down and away. And then the same on the second side. Then maybe unraveling, finding your way into half a happy baby with a tilt back. Maybe you're keeping one hand on the floor. Maybe you can reach for the second leg. So coming into, think of it as a marriage between a seated happy baby and a boat line. Then see if you can use this line to find your way into Merudandasana by extending the legs, and we're going to open up into the widest V that we can. Hold. From here, we're going to start to get a little playful and just make sure that you've got enough runway behind you to play. You're going to come into some spinal rolls. And rolling back and forth, maybe you're holding onto your knees or the back of your thighs. Maybe you're adding a soft forward fold. And then maybe you can add a shoulder stand pike into your mix. Maybe your hands are staying on the floor as you pike. Maybe you're supporting your back. Play with it. See what works for you. We're going to end in the shoulder stand, and if the shoulder stand is not working for you, find your way into a bridge. Then soften knees to nose. Start to roll back down, sweeping the legs underneath you and finding your way back into child pose, toes tucked under, hands together behind your head, and start to find that Ujjayi breath pattern. Stay here or find your way into 4-point kneeling, keeping that breath pattern going as you start to cat-cow. Stay here or begin to play with a churning-like movement through the back as you rock forward into the wrists on the cat and back towards the back end of your mat when you're in the cow. Come to stillness, find a neutral tabletop line. Extend the left leg, keeping a brace into the foot, extend the right arm. We're keeping the toe tucked under position if you can manage it. Step it out into the lizard line on the left when you're ready and start to play. One lift, one lower through the back knee. Maybe ending in the lift, adding a soft rotation to the left, and looking for opportunities the whole time today while you are playing to apply that Ujjayi breath pattern. It could be the full breath pattern, or maybe it's just an echo of the pattern focusing on an audible exhale. Find your way from here back into child pose, toes tucked under if you can manage it. Wide prayer hands behind the head. Find your Ujjayi breath. Take a moment to take that conscious breath. Keep that breath pattern going and find your way into 4-point kneeling for some cat-cow play. Maybe start to add that little chin through your belly center as you lean the weight forwards and backwards, keeping that cat-cow-like motion going. Come to stillness in table. Extend the right leg behind you in table with a nice active brace into your foot, and then extend the left arm. Find your way from here into a lizard step up on the left, on the right, my bad. And then start to play with that back knee. Off the mat and back on. Maybe 5 repeats. Maybe ending in the high line and adding a rotation towards your lead leg. Then think of the step up position that you've currently got through your legs and use it to find your way into a deep squat line. So deep squat, toes are out, and then straddle stand, toes looking to the front of your mat, and begin to play dynamically. End in the deep squat. See if you can bring your hands to a floating prayer. And then see if you can maintain that soft splayed out position through your feet as you bleed your way up into a half stand, tucking your toes under so you can think modified plie. Hold it, feel that delicious burn into the top of your thighs. Then straighten up the legs and start to heel toe your feet in. Stopping when your feet are stepping directly underneath your hips, hands to the tops of your thighs. Big breath in, fold forward, hands to thighs, shins, or maybe you're reaching for those big toes and coming into a little Padangusthasana fold. Pressing all 8 toes in the mat while gently pulling your big toes up towards the sky. Pause here, and then we'll find our way into a working warrior 2. So like a rag doll, you're going to peel up. Once you're standing nice and tall in Tadasana, you're going to take a big lunge step back on the right. You're going to open up that back foot to 90. You're going to windmill the arms open, and then you're going to start to play with that rotation through the forearms, keeping that nice wide warrior 2 stance through the legs. You're going to end palms to sky. Relax your back hand to your back leg. Lead arm to the sky. Find the left side of your ribs. Breathe. Then relax, lead elbow to thigh. And start to trace a big forward tracing circle through the back arm. Keep your weight centered in your core. End in a side angle reach with that back arm nice and close to your ear. Stretching right arm, right side of the ribs, right leg. Back to your warrior 2 and start to play with those forearms. You know where you're going to this round, so the movements should feel a lot softer, a lot more intuitive, flowing beautifully. End palms to sky. Relax your back hand to your back leg. Reach your left arm for the sky. Breathe into the left side of your ribs. Then lead elbow to lead thigh and start to trace that big circle with the back arm. And back arm nice and close to your ear. Take that beautiful side arm stretch. Back to your warrior 2. and start to play with the forearms. Legs might be burning and speaking to you a little bit at this stage. Try to bear through. End palms to sky. Find your reverse warrior two. Drop lead elbow to lead thigh. Big sweeping motion on that back arm. And back arm nice and close to your ear. Hold that stretch. Then find your way from here into a low lunge. You could relax the back foot, or you could keep a toe tucked under position. You could either keep fingers to floor. You could do hands to lead thigh, or you could come into a beautiful crescent lunge, praying through the back, thinking arms open and receptive to the sky. Then bleed your way from here into a three-legged dog and start to play. One three-legged dog, one cross ankle plank. And you're going to give yourself maybe 5 oscillations. We're going to end in a three-legged dog. We're going to think knee up plank on the left. And then think about how you're going to reposition your lead leg to drape your way into a pigeon. Taking a moment to just wiggle around and find yourself on the mat. Maybe you're staying high on the fingertips, or maybe you're dropping onto the elbows, replicating our modified child. But this time, we're going to cross the thumbs as we come into prayer, and we're going to think index fingers to third eye, and we're going to look for our little Ujjayi breath. You can relax the back foot, you can tuck the toes under, doing what feels good for your body right now. Play where you're comfortable. And when you're ready, find your way back to the palms, easing ourselves from pigeon into easy sit by dropping onto the left bottom, swinging the back leg around and in front, taking a moment to just wiggle through your bum bones and taking a nice tall seat, maybe pressing right hand to right knee for a moment, pressing down and away. Then changing legs. Then see if you can reach right hand to right foot, tipping your weight off the tailbone, setting up your seated half a happy baby meets boat, and then trying to replicate it on the second side. Staying here, or looking for a wider straddle line and opening up nice and wide. Holding it. And when you're ready, you're going to start to rock and roll, tucking into a little ball and starting to roll up and down. Maybe you are adding a forward fold into your mix. Maybe you're able to come onto the shoulders and add a little shoulder stand pike. And give yourself at least 5 to 6 playful movements. Just experimenting, playing where you're comfortable. Maybe you can hold the last shoulder stand or find your way to bridge. Then think knees coming to nose. Start to roll onto the mat. Splaying your legs out wide, floating your arms overhead and taking a little wide star stretch here. Then start to bend your knees. Take your feet wide and allow the knees to knock in so that you don't have to hold the weight of your knees. They're resting against one another. You can relax the left arm alongside the body. You're going to take the right arm, middle and index finger coming to your third eye, that little spot between the two eyebrows. You're going to use your thumb to open and close the right nostril, and you're going to use your ring finger to open and close the left. So find your third eye. Use your right thumb to close the right nostril. Take a long inhale left. Then use your ring finger to close your left nostril. Open and exhale right. Then inhale right. Close it. Open and exhale left. Start to find a revolving breath pattern. And try to make your inhalation and exhalation ratio a 1 to 2. So maybe you're inhaling for 3, and then you're doubling up, and you are exhaling for 6. And if your breath is feeling good today, maybe you can add to that movement, adding some retention in. So let's inhale for 3 through one nostril. Then lock that air in, maybe closing both nostrils and holding for 6, not taking air in or out. Then opening the second nostril for a long exhale of 6. So your breath ratio now becomes 1 to 2 to 2. Inhalation to retention to exhalation. Close your eyes, take your focus inward, find your breath rhythm. To lock that air in when you're retaining, maybe you're taking the tip of your tongue and placing it to the palate to remind yourself to lock and hold. Keep that breath pattern going. Finding a rhythm that resonates for you. Make this your last round of alternate nostril breathing And once you've taken your last full round, you can relax both hands alongside the body and settle into a position that is comfortable for you while we take it through a little guided relaxation. So you can either keep the legs bent or you can begin to extend the legs and find your way into full Shavasana. Returning your breath to a normal inhale and exhale pattern through the nose. Keep your eyes closed and your focus inward and begin to visualize the scene that I'm going to set for you. You're visiting on a farm and they've put you to task harvesting, sorting, and packing fruits for the day. At the end of an incredibly long working day, you find yourself tired, sweaty, grimy, and incredibly irritated. You feel parched from too much time out in the sun, feeling aches and pains in places you forgot that you had. Find your way to the bathroom. Wrestle off your filthy clothes, turning on the shower and stepping right into the cool spray. Feel the stinging nettles of water hit your beaten body. Lean your palms against the cool shower tiles in front of you and take a moment to just breathe. Then lather and scrub yourself from head to toe. Once done, nod your chin to your chest and let the water sluice over the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, your back, bum, hamstrings, calves, heels. Take a big sigh. Let all that tension out of your body. Feel it beginning to dissipate. Look up towards the shower head and feel the dancing water ping off your face, neck, chest, belly, thighs, shins, feet. Look down. See the dirty water disappearing down the drain in a swirl, taking with it the last remnants of your tough day. Take a moment. Take a big breath in. Take a long, sighing exhale out. In your daily life, when things are getting a bit tough, take a moment. Take a breath. Tap in. Breath is one of the most powerful things that you have. Such a simple tool that you can access anywhere, anytime. An instrument to eliminate waste and toxins in the body and the blood. A tonic to rejuvenate your organs by cleaning away damaged cells, reducing your stress, reducing your anxiety, and even your predisposition to disease. A restorative to calm and clear your mind and your soul. Take a moment. Breathe. It is a gift. With that thought, we're going to end off our practice for today by simply nodding chin to chest and internalizing the words Om Shanti. Peace within, peace without. Thank you so much for coming out and taking a moment with me today. Till next time, keep it light.